yet again. It's Jody, and it is day 2 in Moscow. It's the end of the day, and it's a very full one. We started the day with our guide picking us up at our hotel and taking the metro, and I clued her into my desire to eat as many sweets as humanly possible, and also to eat a new candy every day to share in these videos. So she took us to this grocery store, and we stocked up on some baked sweets, and then also a whole lot of candy, and also a drink called Mervuka, which is sort of kind of beer, an alcoholic soda would be a better description for it, that's honey based and was absolutely lovely. I highly recommend starting every day with an alcoholic carbonated honey drink. And we took all of our sweets and went to the first McDonald's in Moscow. This doesn't sound like an exciting thing, but it at the time was groundbreaking and a sign of the new Russia. And as an aside, the new Russia is a phrase that comes up again and again in many descriptions of many times. There's always an idea that things are going to be different in a much better way. But Moscow McDonald's is really, there's a lot more technology than McDonald's back home. But we just got a coffee and ate a lot of sugar, and from there we went to the Soviet Arcade Museum, and which was very fun, mostly mechanical arcade games, pinball, the foosball, some other submarine driving games, other Soviet, like a soda machine, photo booth, and your admission gets you a dozen 15 kopek coins, and we just had a lot of game fun. From there we went to a restaurant, I've forgotten the name now, but it is all meat. There is this almost stained glass window, a sort of typical thing you see in cathedrals here, these leaded stained glass windows, but this one was photographs of meat. The whole thing, the waitresses wore those leather aprons that you wear in slaughterhouses. It is trendy, kitschy, and also very good. I had a really good BLT there, and from there we went to this park called the Graveyard of Fallen Monuments. So after the fall of the Soviet Union, all of the statues of old Soviet leaders were torn down, and they took them to this park and at the time just kind of threw them in the ground with no, you know, they were just there apropos of nothing with no descriptor. But since then they've added plaques and a little bit of history, and so it was really interesting to see. And also it is where hideous sculptures go to die. Apparently in Moscow it's a lot of gifts from other towns or places. They get gifted with these sculptures, and they a lot of them are very, very awful. It's like the Center for Bad Art, but it's very fun to look at. And it was a great day to be out because it was finally very cold, very windy. I think it was finally 0 degrees Celsius today, even colder with the wind chill. So it was feeling a little bit more like Russia. And from there we went ice skating in Gorky Park, and I did not fall down or break anything. So I feel like that was a rousing success. Oh, and I left out that we went to yet another cathedral. And I mean, I feel like cathedrals are all kind of the same. They all have pictures of the same dudes, and there's a picture of a lady, and there's lots of gold, and that's pretty much it. But this one is the biggest one in Moscow, and it's a big tourist attraction. And one of the security guards was telling our guide Anna that he made a joke apparently about Trump. He knew I was American. He could tell I was American, and made a joke about Trump, which was actually pretty funny, but also it just showed you can't get away from Trump, no, even halfway across the world. And came back to talk again to her about it and tell her that, you know, it was okay that I was American, and also that I was exceptionally pretty. So I have a good track record with aging Russian gentlemen, so I feel like I might be, you know, on the right track here. So that was great. I mean, I had a Russian man tell me I'm pretty, the ice skate, I had a lot of coffee, I got cold and warmed back up again. It was very typical cold weather activities. So I have another piece of candy to show you today. Let's see. This one, I think it's the same company. And this one is, I'm assuming, yet another caramel because there is a cow on the outside. So, and this one probably is chewy. So yesterday's caramel, which I was afraid, I did not want to make people listen to me chew. I will try and describe it to you now. It was so weird. The inside caramel part was not like a caramel like I think of, like chewy. It was dark, gritty, almost like just this side of burnt tasting sugar that was wrapped with sort of like, I think a fondant or nougat or something, and then the whole thing was dipped in chocolate, and it definitely had an old lady candy sort of feel to it. So I mean, I feel like I can't say anything bad about any candy unless it has like sriracha in it or something like that. So I mean, I can find something good to say about any candy. So this one is the with some sort of, probably cat milk caramel. So it's like a caramel filled caramel. I'm pro this. I'll get the name for you so you can look it up, and you know, your grandma can keep it in her candy dish in her living room. So have a wonderful evening. All my friends in the US I'm 8 hours ahead of you, so it's the daytime. Spoiler alert, the world doesn't end. You'll get to the end of the day and it'll still be here. So, back off for now from Moscow. Talk to you tomorrow.